Hello guys, Crispy here and welcome back to another video. Today my friends, I got a very interesting GPU to show you. This one is the GTX 690. This GPU is absolutely gorgeous. Like, it's probably one of my favorite designs from Nvidia right here. Like, the reference cooler on this, it just looks amazing, doesn't it, my friends? Oh my gosh. So this cooler has dual heat sinks, as you can see. One of them right there, another one right there, and a fan in the middle of those, which means that it's actually running two GPUs. Yes guys, the GTX 690 is basically two GTX 680s in the same board. One right there and another one right there. So yeah, we're basically gonna test SLI in 2020, which right off the bat is not a good idea for you to do. We're gonna see that. This GPU came out in 2012 for $1,000. It consumes 300 watts of power, being a dual GPU of course, which is not actually that bad because, well, Kepler was kind of energy efficient compared to Fermi. So alright my friends, so let's install this beast in the system and see how it runs in 2020. Shall we? Alright guys, this GPU has been crashing on me for like 2 hours right now, and I might have found the issue. It might have been GeForce experience with the latest driver. So right now I'm utilizing the driver 432.00. Basically I got 3 groups of games arranged for this video. The first group will be like SLI compatible, fully compatible, you know, so it won't have an issue playing with the 2 cards. The second group, you could do some tweaks here and there to make the second card work, but it will work with some bugs and crashes and stuff like that, so I still don't recommend it. And finally the third group will be 2020 games, like recent titles that don't support SLI whatsoever, so at least not with the GTX 690 anyways. Let's start off by playing some Battlefield 3. I want to check out this game because it's a game from 2011 and it was a really popular title back when the GTX 690 came out. So basically I want to have like the highest end experience that you could have in this game back in 2012. Let me go through the settings right now. We're playing at 1080p resolution, ultra settings with 4x MSAA anti-aliasing, and yeah, this was extremely demanding back in the days, my friends. I remember playing this game at 30 FPS with the GT 630M, which is basically like a GT 710 nowadays. If you compare the two of them. But let me just start counting our FPS. It seems like it is running extremely well with 144 FPS plus pretty much at all times. Even the 1% lows are right around 140. Come on, head up, buddy. Let's go. Let me go. Let me go. Oh, come on. Don't block me, guys. Oh my gosh. This is a 64-player server, by the way, in Metro. I'm glad that there are no explosions in this server, but of course yeah, of course there are explosions. This is supposed to be a non-explosive server, guys. What are you doing? Alright, we got a kill there. Good stuff. Oh, this is so good, my friends. I missed this game so much. Well, not like this in Metro, but yes, this game was a masterpiece back in 2011, and to be playing it with the GeForce GTX 690, it's just an amazing feel, my friends. Like, we're touching 200 FPS at times, which is the lock from this game. Oh man, this is truly amazing. Oh, okay. I actually spent yesterday's evening just playing Battlefield 3. Well, I made a couple of videos. Of course, I had to make sure that the GPU wasn't faulty or anything because I bought it used for 120 euros, friends. And it's just not really that good for 120 bucks. Of course, there are better options, single GPUs. But God, I'm gonna die. Okay, yeah. This is too much, guys. But I think that's enough, my friends. We're gonna move on to the next game. We spent a lot of time here playing this one already. Okay guys, we are now playing The Witcher 3. As you can see, very beautiful game of course, and we're getting pretty decent FPS for a GTX 690. I'm playing at 1080p using the ultra settings with no hairworks, by the way. Okay, so everything's set to ultra. Over here in the advanced settings, or post-processing actually, motion blur and blur is disabled. Everything else is on except for these over here, which I don't really like. Yeah, okay, so these are the settings that we're playing with, it seems like with both GPUs being utilized to its fullest, we're actually getting really nice FPS. The Witcher 3 came out in 2015 and it was a really demanding and beautiful game. It still is a very beautiful game by today's standards, my friends. Just look at this. This looks amazing at 1080p and it's running right around like what, 60 to 70 FPS at 1080p using the ultra settings. This is like GTX 970 levels of performance, or maybe like RX 570. This might actually be a little bit, tiny bit faster than the RX 570 here. So that's quite impressive, guys, for a 2012 GPU, I gotta tell you. Of course, if you had something like a GTX 680, which is a single GPU card, of course, or if you had to utilize only one of the GPUs here on the 690, you'd probably be getting like 40, 35 FPS, something around that. But with the two fully utilized GPUs, you can get right around 60 FPS on average, which is incredible. Yeah, I say that The Witcher 3 is definitely a very playable and very enjoyable experience with the 2012's Beast GTX 690. Oh my gosh, guys, it's so hot in here right now. There's 300 watts of power being pushed out to my room right now. Alright, but with all of that heat aside, my friends, I'm playing at 1080p here, GTA 5, very high, everything except for the textures and post effects, and advanced settings are obviously turned off. By the way, it says that we got 4 gigabytes of VRAM right there, but we can actually only utilize 2 gigabytes because each GPU has 2 gigabytes of memory, and you can't, it doesn't stack, okay? So basically, you only got 2 gigabytes available to you, and that's why our VRAM utilization is actually maxed out right now, and we might actually see a few stutters here and there in this game because of the VRAM and because of the texture quality. But I didn't really want to put the textures on normal because it just looks a little bit too bad here. So yeah, it's still completely playable here, obviously very high FPS with the GTX 690, so that's really amazing, guys. And just imagine having a GPU like this in 2015. GTA 5 actually came out in 2015 on PC, okay, not on consoles. Just imagine having this one in 2015. It was just a beast, guys. I think it's doing a better job than the Titan as well, so holy crap. When it's actually well up, oh my god, okay, that wasn't what I expected it to happen, but anyways, when the games are well optimized to take advantage of SLI properly, you can have a heck of an experience. Oh boy, massive stutter right there. Okay, most demanding area right now, my friends, and we're still above 60 FPS. Yes, I think the Titan did drop from 60 right here, if I'm not mistaken. Have I actually tested the Titan in a separate GTA 5 video? I don't think so. I need to do that, actually. But, yep, it's not a bad experience whatsoever. It's extremely playable, and it's just very nice, guys. The 690 does a fantastic job in GTA 5. Alright, guys, we're now playing some Far Cry 5. I'm gonna be playing it here at 1080p resolution. As you can see right there, GeForce GTX 690. Let's go over to the advanced settings right here. As you can see, I'm playing at the ultra settings preset. I just disabled the anti-aliasing. The VRAM is also maxed out. It's going over the limit of 2 gigabytes right now. As you can see, it's running actually pretty damn well for a 6-year-old GPU at the time. This game released in 2018. The GPU is of course from 2012. You can see by the GPU utilization right there, it's not really utilizing a lot of it. Like, it's around 80% usage on both GPUs, so that means that scaling here in this game is not really perfect, of course, but as it is a more recent title, I'm not impressed by that, my friends, okay? I'm not surprised. The fact that Far Cry 5 still runs SLI this good is actually pretty damn decent, you know? I like it very much, and the game does suffer from a couple of stutters here and there, mainly because of the VRAM limitations. I will totally play like this and just eat up those stutters a couple of times here and there, I think, at least. Maybe not. Maybe if it starts becoming too annoying, I will just drop the resolution of the textures, but yeah, it's just gonna work right out of the box, and like the next games that we're about to play here. I guess all in all is just a good experience here in this game, close to 60 FPS, which is impressive for a little GPU like this one. Alright guys, so the games that I'm about to test next, which are Fortnite and PUBG, they don't really have SLI support out of the box, and what you have to do is get Nvidia Profile Inspector and do this. Just select this profile over here with the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, Ark Survival Evolved and stuff like that, and go over to SLI, set this one to the X10-2 and set this one to the X10 Force AFR. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so apply changes. Okay, so as you can see right now, our GPUs are actually being utilized, well utilized actually, but once you get into the game, it's just, yeah, it has bugs, guys, in the graphics, and yeah, everything is black right now. If I get into a game, I got like wall hacks and stuff like that. And guys, when I say wall hacks, it's not in a good way, okay? So I'm gonna show you. We're playing on low settings, by the way. We're playing with GPU usages above 90% most of the time, but yeah, guys, like sometimes you can actually see people behind walls and stuff. Like, look at that, for example. But this is not good. My eyes are going insane right now. Although the performance is very, very good right now, this is just not a viable option, okay? It's not a viable option at all. Look at the map. Everything is blinking down there. Let me just test like epic settings. I actually haven't tried epic settings. Maybe it will. Nope. Yep, it's the same. It's really bad, guys. Don't play like this. I'm gonna disable SLI, although we're getting really good frames, like 60, like close to 60 here at epic settings while dropping, which is amazing for this GPU. So for this reason, I'm gonna set everything back to default here in Fortnite, apply the changes, so we're not using SLI anymore. By the way, this is also my first SLI experience with the GTX 690, so if you guys are experienced on this, help me out here, please, if you can. Like, I would appreciate some help to make this game work, and PUBG maybe, and maybe try to make a couple of separate videos testing these games only. Alright, so everything is good right now that we disabled everything else, and we're playing at 1080p low settings with DirectX 11. It runs well, guys. What can I tell you? It actually is a very playable experience. Of course, we're not getting as many FPS as we were with the SLI enabled, especially at epic settings, which I'm gonna switch to in a moment when we land. But this is still totally, completely playable, 100%. Even if you have a high refresh rate monitor, you could run the GTX 690 in Fortnite. And one of the GPUs is still, like, being a little bit utilized. So, to be honest, I will just disable SLI in this game because I think it might cause some stuttering issues, or more stuttering issues than the normal here in Fortnite. But this is not a bad experience whatsoever. Yeah, looking in this direction, 100 plus FPS still, looking in that direction, 150 almost. Okay, there's a big stutter there, 180 sometimes. So I'm gonna go ahead and set it to epic. We were getting like around 60 FPS at epic settings, and now we are at 40. So yeah, quite a considerable drop. It's not like a 100% drop. We're not playing at 30 FPS now. We're actually very close to 60 at times, like looking in this direction, for example. But it's nowhere near what it was at the SLI enabled setting. If the game supported SLI, it could be actually a very good experience, because it didn't really stutter that much with it enabled, and we were of course hovering around 60 FPS, but now 30s, 40s, it's still not too bad, but it's not 60 FPS, so yeah, I would play this one definitely on low settings or medium settings, maybe high if you want a little bit higher visual fidelity, but it will drop from 60 FPS on high settings as well. Let's just move on to PUBG now. Alright everybody, we're playing PUBG at 1080p medium settings across the board, as you can see. Yeah, I'm not gonna bother testing it with all of the blinking fest and, you know, this epilepsy thingy. Okay, we're dropping and our FPS will drop by a lot while we're dropping. Yep, one of the GPUs is at 99%, the other one is like around 0 to 12% most of the time. We got 20% right now, but that's about it. SLI guys, SLI is basically dead nowadays. Most games don't support it. Newest games, like, I don't think there's a single 2020 title, like known title at least, that supports SLI. I've actually been searching for a lot of games that support SLI so I could make the list here for this video, and I didn't find a single game from 2020 in like 3 or 4 websites that I visited. Anyways, the good news is, if you're rocking one of these cards, and if you want to play PUBG, well, the experience is still pretty good here on medium settings. Like, it's not really stuttering that much. When it does, I guess it's just because of the game, because it stutters in every single card that I tested so far, so it's not really this GPU. Developers, please, just fix your goddamn games. 2020 is a mess when it comes to stuttering in games. And also you end up with a card that doesn't consume as much power, because you're basically using half of it, so it's only consuming around like 150, 160 watts of power. So I only see positives if you don't really care about getting 100 FPS in this game. So PUBG actually runs pretty well here on the GTX 690, just below 60 FPS on average on the medium settings at 1080p. So even though it can't utilize its full potential, I still say that this is not bad for an 8-year-old card. Alright boys and girls, it's time for Red Dead Redemption 2. You can see that the GPU utilization on one of them is at flat 0, sometimes 1%, but that's it. And we're playing it at 1080p using the low settings with ultra textures, just to make the game look a little bit better. I had to enable ultra textures, by the way, in the config files, because otherwise the game wouldn't let me apply those settings, because we only have 2 GB of VRAM again. Okay, so this is actually sort of a playable experience. It might be, of course, if SLI was enabled, and I've seen a couple of people playing this game with SLI enabled, but it was with GTX 1080s and 2080s and stuff like that, so this is just a little bit too old maybe for the GTX 690, because I wasn't able to set those profiles that those people set and play this game with SLI enabled. It just didn't work whatsoever. It just kept one of the GPUs at 0% usage every single time. So these are basically the FPS that you should expect from something like a GTX 680, okay? So yeah, that's basically what's happening right here. Oh my god, come on, Arthur. Oh my god, seriously man, why every single time? I just can't play this game with mouse and keyboard, I think. But I'm even worse with a controller, god damn it! Of course, in some areas like Valentine and Saint-Denis and stuff like that, it will drop from 30 FPS quite a bit, possibly into the low or mid 20s. The game should be completely playable at like 720p resolution, always above 30 FPS, so if that's your jam, I guess you're probably not with the GTX 690. Alright everybody, we're playing now some Call of Duty Warzone. One of the GPUs is just completely idle, of course. This game doesn't utilize SLI. We're playing at 1080p resolution with the lowest settings because, well, yeah, this is Kepler that we're talking about. Keep in mind, as we only have 2 GB of VRAM here with the GTX 690, I don't think that the game will be like a very smooth experience. I think it will stutter just a little bit a few times here and there. So let's start counting our FPS, and right off the bat, guys, I gotta tell you that I am not impressed, okay, with these FPS. These are not impressive at all. Like, what the heck? Alright, I always gotta remember that this is an 8-year-old card, of course, but so is, for example, the HD 7950 or 7970, and that one, the 7970, actually competed against the GTX 680, which is effectively what we're running right now, and the 7970 is is probably capable of delivering 60 FPS here at 1080p in this game. I'm fairly sure it is. That it is, guys. Like, Kepler didn't age well at all, and if you can't use the 690 in SLI mode, it's just not worth it. Like, it's not worth it even if you can, of course, but it's just not capable of doing anything. Like, this is absolutely horrible performance for a GPU that cost $1,000 back then. The 7970 costed like what, 300, 350, maybe 400. Yeah, it was a high-end card from AMD, but back then the GPU prices weren't as like high as right now, you know. Right now it's just absolutely insane. The RTX 3090 is supposed to come out at like $2,000 or $1,500, which is crazy. I will actually call this playable. 1% lows are very, very close to 30 FPS, and we're dead, so that's it. My friends, it's now time for Horizon Zero Dawn, yet another game where we will see 0% GPU usage. In one of the GPUs, of course, I'm playing at 1080p, favorite performance settings, or the low settings preset. Alright guys, so there's a lot of graphical issues here in Horizon Zero Dawn with the GTX 690 at least. Everything blinks every now and then, as you can see. Let's start counting our FPS. This is not the best experience, obviously. I wasn't expecting it to be. It will drop from 30 FPS quite a bit in a few areas. Like, yeah, right now it's already dropping right now. God damn it. Honestly, I expected a little bit better coming from the GTX 680. I guess this is actually a slightly downclocked 680. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's a slightly overclocked one. I didn't even check the 680 specs before I made this video. What a mess! Okay, should we try? Oh god, oh god. No, 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 don't call for reinforcements, my friend. You're good. Oh boy. Okay, that guy heard. That guy heard us too, I think. Maybe not. Okay, no ammo. That's absolutely perfect. Yeah, I'm fairly confident that if we disabled one of the GPUs, the other one would run at 99% usage and not at 90% like we're seeing it right now. So it just runs worse with SLI enabled, my friends. So don't do this. Don't even think of playing Horizon Zero Dawn with SLI cards. It's gonna run worse, and that's like an actual thing. Some games actually run way worse with SLI enabled than disabled. Like, you lose FPS. It actually starts stuttering a lot. There's a lot of graphical bugs, like in this one as well. So, well, that's it for Horizon Zero Dawn. 25 FPS on average. Really, really sluggish experience. And we finally arrived at the last game of the list, which is Microsoft Flight Simulator in the GTX 690. As you can see right there, it does utilize the second card just a little bit. Okay, so yeah, we're playing at 1080p, low settings preset. Okay, I'm using a controller, by the way, because I don't know the controls with the mouse and keyboard. Okay, so, well, all right, third person. Let's start counting our FPS. You know what? It's actually not that bad. I was honestly expecting less FPS than these after seeing like Horizon Zero Dawn and Red Dead Redemption 2. We're flying over Athens because it's the biggest and most demanding city that I found so far in my benchmark videos that I've made. So yeah, this is extremely demanding because it has a ton of buildings, as you can see, and if you really get close to them, you can see that the FPS just tank a little bit. Okay, so it's still a playable experience on low settings, but you aren't buying a game like this to play on low settings. Let's be real, friends. Alright, and on medium settings, it's just gonna be totally unplayable with FPS in the low 20s. Go up, okay, everything is fine. And I was also expecting like 25 FPS on average over here, so seeing 32, well, it's okay. Especially because we're testing it in a very demanding and big city. If you go like to mountain areas and stuff like that, you can expect around 40 FPS probably. Okay, so that's it for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Very, very nice game, or simulator actually. Yes. So, my friends, it's time for the conclusion of this video. Do I recommend the GeForce GTX 690 in 2020? And of course, the answer is a resounding no. No one should buy this GPU in this day and age. Like, first of all, it consumes 300 watts of power. Even a 2080 Ti consumes less than that. Second, most newer games don't really use SLI at all, or if you can find a way to use it, it will have bugs and crashes and stuff like that, so that's not really a very good idea. Third of all, it's just a headache. Like, SLI is a real headache. To make this video, I spent like 3 days researching about SLI stuff, just to make a few of the games that wouldn't work on it working, like Fortnite and PUBG, and they didn't even end up working well, so it was kind of a waste of time. Aside from that, I also had a ton of driver issues and crashing problems because of drivers and stuff like that, so there's that as well. And of course, finally, the fourth reason you shouldn't buy a card like this one is the price. I mean, I paid 120 euros for this GTX 690 for 120 bucks, which might be like the average price that these go for, at least in Europe. You're much better off buying something like an RX 580, RX 570 for much less than that, GTX 1060, of course, all used, or if you want to buy something new, I guess you could stretch it a little bit and buy a new RX 570, which will outperform this GPU in every single game that we tested, except maybe for Battlefield 3 and The Witcher 3. By the way, funny story, I remember seeing an Alienware PC in Portugal for like 5,000 or 6,000 euros, sporting one of these cards right here, a GTX 690. That was back in 2012, of course. I never forgot that PC, and now I own the GTX 690 as well, so yeah, suck on that, Alienware. I only had to wait 8 more years. Right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. Thank you very much for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to leave it a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will hopefully see you in the next one. As always, I love you all. Bye-bye.